Do your drill beats sound just as crap as this?
Purchase your tracks today.
Ai, só tenho 15.
And you wanna get it super clean and powerful just like this? Don't you worry my guy, because today I'm gonna show you the secrets on how I mix my beats in order to get this super high-end quality sound. You ready? Yeah, you gotta say yes, motherfucker. So now let's get straight into the tutorial. Bam! Alright, this is the fully unmixed version of the beat. Alright, it just sounds like crap. Like for real, just crap. So now obviously I've already made the beat, I've already finished it, I've already mixed it and everything. So I'm gonna walk you through the whole mixing process that I followed. So I'm gonna start from the master channel, and as you can see here, we got a paramedic EQ and nothing too crazy. I just boosted the frequencies at around 8,000 hertz. Oh, by the way, sorry for the very low tone and weird voice that I have, but I'm pretty sick. So yeah, can you please at least leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to, you know, support me and my health as well, because bro, I'm really trying to push this shit, like for real, I'm really trying to give value to you guys. So hey man, that would be the very least that I can ask. So like ding, you know what I'm saying, bro? Very simple. Next we got the soft clipper at the default preset. Guys, if you are not using the soft clipper in your beats in 2023 2024, here's yet to come, bro. I swear man, I don't know what is wrong with you. Like, use the soft clipper. I promise you it'll change the quality of your sound from 0 to 40%. I promise you, I'm telling you, for real. And we can actually already hear the difference just by applying the paramedic EQ and the soft clipper. Obviously it still sounds like crap, but it is way better than it was before. So now I'm gonna go for the melody, and as you can see here, we got an EQ, a compressor, and a limiter, and I'm gonna explain every plugin I use and the reason why. So for the first plugin, we got an EQ with a FabFilter Pro Q3, and as you can see here, we cut out the low end and a little boost on the high end at around 8,000 frequencies, just to give a little bit of brightness to the melody. Next we got an EQ just to make sure that the overall volume of the melody stays to pretty much the same level. I don't want the melody to have any spikes or any lows, so I want it to be pretty consistent. And as you can see here, very basic compression. So as you can see, we got a threshold at -25 decibels and a ratio at 2.0. Actually the threshold, it really changes depending on the volume, the initial volume of the melody. It isn't always the same. So let's say for example that the original volume of the melody was higher, probably the threshold will have been a little bit higher. Next we got a fully limiter. I don't really use it to improve the sound of the melody or whatever. I just use it for the sidechain with the kick, which I'm gonna show you later on. And then last but not least, like I was saying before, I lowered down the volume of the melody from the mixer track because I really want to have the volume of the melody not going above 12 decibels, but at the same time not going below 15 decibels, as you can see here. And as you can see here, the volume is always around this range right here. And me personally, for drill, I always like to have the melody around that level. I don't really like to have it too loud, not even too low, obviously. Next we got a counter snare. So we got a delay, as you can see here. It gives a tiny more sound to the background, whereas without the delay it would be like this. You know, it's very dry like this, and I don't really like it personally. Then we got the pancake just to slightly move the sound left and right. Probably if you're listening with speakers or headphones, you'll actually be able to hear all these differences. Next we got a reverb just to give some more room in the background of the sound. Like kind of almost imperceptible, but it is there, because if I turn it off you will tell that it's not there, the reverb. Where's it on? You know what I'm saying? Then we got an EQ with the FabFilter again, and there's a cut at the low end and the high end, and to be honest it is not really necessary because there aren't that many frequencies going on the low end. Next we got the final and actual EQ of the counter snare. So we got a cut like this, and then there's the notch over here at around 8,000 hertz again, and then it goes like this. Very basic stuff. So next we got the snare, and for the snare I always want to have the snare smashing, like properly smashing, and in order to do that I use the Camel Crusher. I don't use it at 100%, I use it at 58%. And as you can see here, we got the British Clean preset, and it's actually the only one preset that I use out of this plugin, which makes the snare go from this to this. You know, it's a completely different level. This is just thanks to the Camel Crusher. Then we got in the EQ. Again, we cut the low end and the high end. And guys, I really want to emphasize the importance of cutting the low end. And basically, the reason why you want to always take out the low end of any sound that doesn't require any low end to be heard is because you don't want to have the sound clashing with the kick and the 808. The kick and the 808 are actually the only two sounds that require the low end to be heard. Otherwise, the beat will sound like trash. And obviously, perks as well. I don't cut the low end of the perks. So yeah, guys, this is the reason why you always want to take out the low end of the sounds. Next, we got a free reverb just to enhance the space that the snare takes in the stereo imaging, and also to give some depth to the sound. And overall, it sounds like this. Whereas before, without the mixing, it sounded like this, just like crap. So now I'm gonna let you listen to what we got so far without the mixing, and then I'm gonna put the mixing on so you guys can actually see and understand what I did so far. So this is without the mixing. So as you can see, the sounds, you can't really hear everything properly. So obviously you can hear them, but not as good with the proper mixing going on, which is the one that I'm gonna show you right now. As you can see, you can hear every sound like separately. You can properly hear the melody, you can properly hear the counter snare and the snare as well. So for this beat, I use one of my kicks from Pandora, which is called Culture. And it's a very clean kick. Sounds very nicely for this beat. And again, no mixing at all. The only thing I did here was to sidechain the kick with the melody and the 808, as you can see here. And the way to do it is very simple. I'm gonna show you right now. So all you need to do is to move your mouse over this arrow right here. You press the right click of the mouse and you go to sidechain to this track, and then you're gonna find it in the limiter. Press the right click, sidechain, and you're gonna find it here. Now, the most probably important sound of the mixing in a beat, the 808. 808, guys, must be mixed very precisely. Obviously, it is not hard. If you get an 808 that sounds good by itself with no mixing from the beginning, perfect. But obviously, me personally, I always like to adjust it no matter which 808 I get. And as you can see here, this is the 808 without mixing. You know, it is still decent, but not optimized. So I'm gonna show you the mixing process for the 808. So for the very beginning, we got a cut at 20 hertz, and then we got a little reduction at around 17,000 hertz. Next, we got the stereo enhancer, and the only reason why I use this is because the phase offset, which I like to use in my 808. Next, as you can see, we got the Maximus and the Ozone Imager, and the reason why I use these two is because, again, I play a lot with the stereo imaging of the 808, and I like to play around with the low end, the mid hand, and the high end. And actually only use the Ozone Imager just as reference because I want to know what is playing where. And as you can see here from the vector scope, I can see where the low end of the 808 is sitting in the stereo imaging. This is the low end of the 808. Whereas if I go back to the Maximus and I select the mid range, I will see the mid range frequencies in the vector scope. That see it right there, as you can see here. And this is the way it sounds. Very subtle because I reduce the volume of the pulse gain. And this is another thing that I like about the Maximus, the fact that I can also decide how much volume I want to give to a certain range of frequencies. And then again, same thing for the high end. You go over the Maximus, you select the high, and then you see where they're sitting. As you can see, they're going right here. And this is all about it. Obviously, to make any range of frequencies more mono or more wide, it's either you push it to the right, which is more mono. As you can see here from the vector scope, is mono, completely mono. Whereas if I push it to the left, it goes wider, as you can see. Very simple. And then you can also do the same thing that you did for the low end, the mid hand, and the high end frequencies for the master. And this is pretty much, I use the Maximus. I will put the Maximus, and then I'll also put the Ozone Imagers just as reference and to know where each frequencies are playing. Next, we got a compression, again, just to make sure that the overall volume of the 808 always sits at the same level. We got threshold of -20 decibels and the ratio at 4.0. And then finally, same for the melody, we got the sidechain with the through the limiter threshold at -14 decibels and the ratio all the way down to 20, and pretty much that's the way it sounds. Now, pretty much the foundation of the beat is established. We have the mixing of the melody, the counter snare, the kick, the 808. So pretty much the beat could be just like that. However guys, as you already know, I like to spice my beats with a lot of perks, Vox and effects, risers and all that stuff. So for these elements specifically, it really depends. For example, the Vox, I mix them. The perks, I don't mix them at all unless I want to give them a particular effect. And same goes for the effects, risers and all that stuff. I don't mix it at all. In fact, if you look at the bottom of the mixer channel, you're gonna see that there's only this one, and these other two, other than the melody, the counterset and etc that are actually mixed. So for the snap, as you already know guys, I use it to give a lot of impact and kick, and it sounds like this. And all I do here for this snuff is just to put a delay, and actually is the ping pong preset, and all I do here is to play with the delay time section. I play with the time, I put it at either 4 or 6 depending on the vibe of the beat. So if I put it at 4, it sounds like this. Whereas if I put it at 8, it will sound way more later. So the smaller the number, the quicker you're gonna hear the signal. The bigger the number, the later you're gonna hear the signal. And then like always, we got an EQ, very basic stuff. So now I'm gonna show you the mixing process for the boxes, which is the same one that I applied for each one of them. I have 3 boxes and it's the same mixing process for all of them. So we got this box right here, this other one, and this last one. So first thing first, we got an EQ, cut on the low one, as you can see, very basic stuff. Then we have a little bit of reverb with the Valhalla room. And then last but not least, we got a gain, the delay effect. In this circumstance, I decided to push it all the way to the left, depending, which means that the very first delay signal will come from the right. And then, as you can see here, the time is at 8, so it goes like this. You see, it sounds way cleaner, it sounds a lot more professional, and it gives also a little bit of vibe and ambience to the overall beat. Last but not least, we got a stereo separation just to make sure that it's pretty wide. I always like to have boxes going really wide. So yeah guys, another thing that I want to tell you is to make sure you position each sound, not necessarily each sound, but some sounds in different parts of the stereo imaging. As in, for example, the kick, you always want to have it to the mono, like proper center of the stereo imaging, and then the melody, you want to have it a little bit wide, not too mono, not too wide. Counters there, it depends, it really depends man how you feel. And for the area, like I was saying before, I like to have it pretty wide, but at the same time the low frequencies, I like to have them headed towards the mono. And then if you like to use Vox in your beats, I always recommend you to put them wide open, at least to hear them properly and to not make them clash with any sound of the beat. But obviously there ain't no rule going on, like you can really do whatever you want, but always make sure to have a clean mixing, because it really does make the difference, I promise you. So now let's have a listen to the beat with the full mixing so you guys can understand what we did today. So guys, now you've seen the way I mix my beats, but obviously you don't have to go through all this stress every time you make a beat. That's the reason why I made a whole catalog of presets that I use in my beats for you to apply them, to never waste time into doing any kind of EQ, any kind of effects and all that stuff. You can just take the preset, put it into the mixer channel or whatever sound you want to apply to. So my mixing preset catalog is available in Imperium, my latest drill production kit, available right now, bro. So make sure that you follow the link in the description to get both the drum kit and the mixing preset catalog. And obviously on top of that, you're also gonna get exclusive tutorials, sample packs, one-shot kits, and a lot of bonuses that I promise you don't want to miss. Anyways, bro, make sure that you follow the first link in the description. Now if you've enjoyed today's tutorial, man, I appreciate you for tuning in. Once again, you're a real G, nigga. Anyways, make sure that you follow me on Instagram at Steppers. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you've enjoyed today's video. And bro, I'll see you on the next time. Bow.
Steppers on the tape.